I'm about a good half a mile from where the creek was running, and it spread out clear this far. You can see the mud. It's dry ground where I'm standing at, or where I'm sitting on this horse. It probably got a lot of debris choking it. Upstream, closer to our house, where the main channel is, that gets clogged with logs from the mountains, actually, on occasion, and that's usually what backs it up. If they don't keep it cleaned out, something's going to give, and I don't know whether that is the case this time, but that's what it was before. I've seen it in years past. It just logs jammed up for 50-60 yards across it, and that just causes it to spread out. But it'll help the grass. It's been pretty dry out here. You can see over there across the fence, it's still brown. It ought to be real green this time of year, and it's pretty dry. It's probably why the oryx and the deer moved out. They might have moved north. They can go for a couple of 100 miles maybe through that way without running into anything, any people really, or all the way to that mountain range over there. They get through over to there. It's going to be boggy for a while. I won't be able to get across to that other ridge for a while, maybe until fall. We stopped here. She's really watching out there. There's something out there. I just can't see it. All horses, they were built for this kind of country. They can see for long, long ways, and they can see movement where I can't see that far without binoculars. There's something out there. It might be a deer or oryx. Whoop, 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 whoop. Here, let's go. She's a little bit fidgety, but there's something moving around out there. I just can't catch it. There's a road out there about midways across that basin that goes north and south that they use a lot. But I don't think she can see that far. It's quite a ways out there. It could be a coyote. There's not really any wolves out in this part of the country that I know of. There's some up in these mountains to the east of us. But if you watch your horse, they're good to hunt off of too, because they'll see things before you do. 9 times out of 10, way before you do. Just watch them, and if you can shoot off of one, they're real good to hunt with. I don't see anything moving. I'll stop up here on this little hill and give it a chance to move. They're pretty smart. Usually the oryx they'll get broadside to you and look at you from a distance. They just turn. Coyotes do the same thing. Let's look. Let's look. She's a little antsy. It's real quiet out here today. Just a little slight breeze blowing right now. There's no tracks at all along the other side of the fence. They usually walk this fence line. The oryx do. Not so much the deer. The deer they try to stay in that brush as much as they can when they're moving. This is out in this area is where we used to see Ranger, if anybody remembers him. Hadn't seen him in a long time. I don't know what happened to him. I talked to a game warden across the fence here quite a while back, and he said there were still some wild horses out there, not many that he knows of. That they mostly stay over closer to the mountains. They can get over here once in a while. I don't see anything today. Here comes Blue. We're going to turn and head back home across these little hills. Down here in this little flat area. You can see where the water's been running through here, and it's starting to green up. There's mainly two types of native grass that I know of out here. One's called buffalo grass, and the other one's called grama grass. And this is one of the other. It's pretty well grazed out. There's more of it north of here, but it withstands long period of drought. And then when the rains do come, it greens up pretty good, and they can survive off of this pretty well. And I guess the buffalo and antelope used to graze on it a long time ago. I've never seen any antelope in this area or in this basin, except for way up north of those mountains up there. There's some antelope that I know of. But anyway, this grass right here where it was draining, running through here from somewhere, is pretty green. It was probably sitting here for just a while, this little low area. And then back to the east, it's just brown. But that was the first good rain we've had the other day, and we probably got close to 3 inches. So it'll green up. I always thought about this grass a lot, and the way the rains hit out here. They call it monsoon rains. I probably talked about it before. But the rains come in usually July, August, and some September. Real dry in June, May and June out here normally. It's just the opposite of back east. But this was originally buffalo country, and the buffalo migrated north and south. So I would imagine they needed, the grass needed to be green to give them food for their trip north or south when they come south. To give them something to eat off of, because they traveled for a long distance. And so this was just perfect. And it used to be a lot more than this, of what I'm told from people that their grandparents lived out here. But they brought a lot of cattle in the late 1800s, early 1900s, and pretty well grazed it down. They tell me that there was a lot of water coming out of the mountains back then. It's just normal. We don't have as much water as we used to. I read somewhere that one summer they brought in, I believe, 85,000 head of cattle in the late 1800s from Texas.